Hi everyone, welcome back. So remember on the last video we left off with getting an image. Here's how the code looks like, and I showed you how to use the inspection mode on the website. Again, all you have to do is right click on the browser, go to inspect. When you do this, what happens is you get to make live changes to your site and see the output right away. So if you click on the H1, you can see that it highlights over the H1. You click on the figure, it highlights over the figure. Here's an image, and what we did on the last video was we gave the image a width of 300 pixels, and right away it changed. We don't only have to use pixels. I also wanted to add we can use other type of units. We can use percentages. For example, if I want to say 100%, I will do 100%. If I want to say 50%, 50%. I can say 30%. So there's a difference when you use percentages as opposed to pixels. Pixels are hard coded. Percentages, they change based on the size of the screen. So this is 50%. So it would always be 50. You see how the image changes? It's 50% of the screen that is showing. So 50% of this right here. That's what's happening. As you can see, it changes. Now, if we were to leave it at 300 pixels, or no, let's leave it at 600 pixels. What happens when we shrink the site? It stays the same. It does not. Picture does not shrink. Do you see the difference? When you use pixels, you hard code the size, the dimensions. When you use percentages, it changes with result to the space that is on the screen. So for this, we are going to use, for this image, since it's small enough, we can just use 300 pixels. So it doesn't really matter how small we get. So, I mean, you don't really want anything smaller than this anyway. Alright, so what we notice as well is that when we refresh, it goes back to normal. So in this video, I want to show you how to make sure that when you refresh the page, the size stays the same. So go to your image and enter the width of the image, 300. Now, if you put pixels here, I'm going to show you something. It's fine. It does the same thing even when you refresh. If you do, but at the same time, if you don't put pixels on this one, the screen, the browser knows that 300 means pixels. If you put percentages here, the browser takes it as, hey, this is too big. So just be careful with that. Alright, 300 pixels. This is fine. So now we have an image. Remember, this is what we're trying to make. We're still a long way, but we're going to get there. The next thing is, let's get the text like this. So notice how this text is in a new line. It's in a new line under this image. This text is in a new line under this image. Notice that. So we want to get the text in the same way, in a new line. So one way we can do this is, let's try this. Right under this, let's put the name of the person. Oh, actually, you know what? I forgot something really important. Whenever you have an image, you have to. This is a must. You have to give a description of the image. What is the image about? This is helpful in so many ways, but one of the most important ways it's helpful is that when a screen reader comes to read the image to a blind person, the screen reader can only go by the description of the image. So the screen reader doesn't know what this image is. It goes by whatever the description you put in here. So please do not forget that. To enter description, you type ALT. ALT allows you to enter description. Quote, and you put whatever you want to put in here. You can write, this is a profile image. Again, this is another way of being of coding to be accessible to all users. Now, again, we want to put a text here. So right under this self-closing tag, this is a self-closing image tag. Right under it, let's put the name of the person. Let's say Jeff Hardy. Let's see what happens. Notice this name doesn't really go under. I want it to go right under the image. It doesn't really go under as this is. So there are several ways of doing this. One way I want to show you is not the best way, but it's a way I want you to also know about. Is to use the break line. So right above it, you put BR. It's a self-closing tag. Self-closing tags, they don't need a closing tag, they close themselves. Put it right above. What happens is it forces any text under to go on the next line. Watch this, let's refresh. It goes on the next line. And you can, the more you put, the more next line, that's it'll go on the next line. Again, you see it shifted lower. So it's really up to you, honestly. You know. So let's put 2 there for now. We'll come up with a better way for that next time. Now we want to put this text on a new line. That's what we want to do. So again, you can say, you know what, Kunle, I need a break line. I can do this. Yes, you can. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is already a tag if you want for putting. This is called a caption, by the way, an image caption. HTML5 has a tag for that. It's called figure caption. So let's enter our figure caption here. Save it. See how it looks. You see, it goes on a new line automatically. That's what it does. So you don't have to worry about it. It goes on a new line. But notice how it's not all under the image. It's like all spread all over the place. Don't worry, we'll take care of that. Just want to go through more stuff. Now let's enter these text over here. Again, so we're outside the image now. So all of this is inside the image figure. All of this that we just did. This is the image. So the image figure covers all of this. Then you have the image. Then you have the image caption. Alright, so let's step outside of the image figure now. This is the closing tag of the figure. Now we want to enter a text over here. So to do that, so that we can go on the next line, we use a tag called div. Yes, div, you can think of it as a divisor or something like that. Something that breaks to the next line. It automatically breaks to the next line. So anytime you want to break to a new line, when you're coding, you can use a div as opposed to using a BR. I'm going to show you examples. Let's just put anything here. Let's do another one. Div, opening, closing. Put some stuff here. Another one. Div, stuff. So what do you expect to see? We expect to see 3 new lines. Let's save it. There you go. 3 new lines. So they all force into the next line. That's what using the div does. So yes, we could have used the div here. 100%. There's nothing wrong with that. We could have used it. It's actually a better way of doing it. Okay, so we don't need 3, we need 2 for what we want to do. So let's put some text. We want generate random text. Remember LO, type LO and then tab key to get random text. And then let's make it bigger, do another one. LO tab, or just press whatever shows up. And then we're gonna copy it because we want the same thing. Yeah. There we go. So now we have a bunch of text, but you don't really know. You see how here there's a little space that separates them, and it's in a row. Here they're all in one line, one column. We're gonna fix that. Don't worry, I promise. So next thing I want to show you how to do is let's implement some buttons. We want to put the Facebook button and the email me button. We want to put them next to each other in a way that makes it look like this, basically. Alright, so we're still inside the main tag. So now, inside this main tag here, we can use a div as well, actually. I was actually going to recommend us using a footer, because there is a tag in HTML5 called which allows you to put stuff that you want at the bottom. The point of using a footer tag is just as the name sounds. It's at the bottom. It's at the foot of footer, so it stays at the end over here. So we can actually use a footer tag to specify that. If you don't want to, you can use a div. Again, there's no law or policy that states you have to use a footer. It just depends on what gets the job better, and it doesn't mean one is more efficient than the other, honestly. But when the screen reader comes to your page and the screen reader sees the footer, the screen reader knows this is the last thing on the page, as opposed to a div. The screen reader does not know that. So I guess you can say using a footer is more efficient for screen readers. Okay, so let us put some information here in the footer. We're going to put a button. So to put a button, there is a tag for that as well, called button. We're going to say Facebook, and we're going to put another button right below it. We're going to put email me, and let's see how these two buttons look. Oh well, we technically don't have to specify the type. The HTML, the browser knows it's a button because we have this button here. Save. Let's see how it looks. Okay, Facebook, email me. Again, it doesn't look anything like this yet, but we'll get there. So I think we have all the content that we need so far in terms of this, right? We do. We have all the content that we need. Okay. Actually, you know what? This video is getting too long. On the next video, I'll show you how to make this into a list. Actually, most people actually use footers and they put list items as opposed to the way I just did it.